How you guys doing today? How you guys having a fun time in the chat today? We appreciate everybody coming in to check us out. You guys want to dive into the news today then?
Yeah, sure.
I
Let's
don't
let's
see
do
why
the.
not.
You
What
want to
a
go straight into the Jets then?
I think before we hop into Gates, I want to talk. I mean, yeah, we can hop into Gates actually. Gates is number three.
It,
That's
it just
very
seems
topical.
related. Like, yeah,
Matthew Gaetz, representative from Florida, he has got himself into a lot of trouble lately, right?
the one
Because
time he snorted cocaine.
he got himself in a lot of trouble because it pretty much seems like a foregone conclusion that he at least was engaged in knowing prostitution, if not, and knowingly engaged in underage prostitution. And many of the information coming out right now is even more damning than before. So, to give a quick recap, one of his close personal friends, who was a previous advisor slash co-worker in the Florida State legislature. His name is Joel Greenberg. He has been he's basically going to plead guilty now.
He is. I'm
On
pretty sure
I believe
it was
39 accounts, if I remember correctly, like relating to these sex crimes. Basically, Greenberg was a Florida Treasury, right? He was a
he's
Florida
a
Yeah.
tax
Treasury.
collector.
He was a tax collector. Yes, you're right. He was working in the Treasury. He was a tax collector. He used his position as a tax collector to look up information on the people, on the women that he was pimping out. But the majority of the way that he would get women to pimp out was to, just keep dotting, like going on Instagram and preying on
Did he make
girls
them take
who were trying to
taxes?
become models.
Did he make them pay taxes like after pimping them out? Like,
Yeah, he's
hey,
like, you're
like
not.
here's a 6% on that. Yeah.
He did that
You're,
thing where it's like oh, I want to talk to the sheriff, and they just like take off like their fireman badge and just put on like the sheriff badge, except it's the tax collector. It's like, oh, you're
yeah,
talking.
he went from being like official pimp to official tax collector.
Yeah, just
Pimp from
I'm the
himself to
IRS.
pimp for the state. So Matt Gaetz, though, this really took off a couple weeks ago, or actually, I would say a couple months ago, right? At this point, right? It's been
I've
months
been
at
I've
this
been hearing
point.
about it slowly trickling into me.
This woman on Twitter. You know what? I'm going to next. I'm gonna figure out who this woman is on Twitter. I'm gonna find out exactly what her name is, and we're gonna plug her next week because she's done really good work on this whole Matt Gaetz thing. She found Matt Gaetz's private Venmo account. Well, not private,
They always
public
find
Venmo
the fucking
account.
Venmos.
She figured out the Venmo. She literally demonstrated in a couple tweets that he clearly was Venmoing women or Venmoing Joel Greenberg to pay for sex. And multiple articles then went in and took credit for being able to find his Venmo and all this shit. And that's really been the thing
Yeah.
that really took off. Greenberg is fucked. He's going to jail. He knowingly trafficked women 14 to 17 years old. He gave them no-show government jobs paid by taxpayers that earned them about around 7,000 to 17,500 for their work, which is fucking like that's some
Super
real
cheap.
high-level prostituting, if you ask me. Like, think about it this way, right? Like, on that low-level prostitute, you got to fuck and then you get money. But these girls, they were fucking, and then they got a job that was paying them every week. And they didn't even have to continually
Salary.
fuck this
Yeah.
guy. They got on salary from fucking. Like, that's some pretty good shit from the girls. Fuck Joel Greenberg for pimping
But
out
the
these
salary
girls.
seems so low.
If I remember correctly, Gates paid like $2,000 for a night with these women. So like they're getting thousands of dollars for a night plus free coke, free, rooms, free
Yeah.
booze. On Monday alone, Greenberg is expected to plead guilty to 6 felony accounts, including sex trafficking, wire fraud, identity theft, stalking, and conspiracy. But the latest news to come out of this, right, is that Matt Gaetz was campaigning, right? Using campaign money. He is paying for these like hotel rooms with his campaign finances, which is like the big deal, right? Like he could be committing campaign finance fraud because he's spending his campaign money on hotel rooms where strippers slash prostitutes are showing up to do coke and drink. I'm sure you guys know what CPAC is, right? Like do you guys know what CPAC
yeah,
is?
I know. I don't know what it stands for,
So,
but I know what CPAC is.
the Conservative Political Action Committee. or I believe it, the CPAC is actually the Christian Political Action Committee, I believe.
Same thing.
Fucking woke, Joe. I love you. But like, so he spoke at one of those CPAC light events, big conferences that are a couple days held inside a fucking, hotel, like a Hilton Inn, and it's held in the convention room, and outside is like guests trying to get back to their room who are getting harassed by guys who are asking them if they know about how how Hunter Biden got caught smoking crack on and the photos are out now.
Photos are out?
Have you never seen the Hunter Biden
I'll pull
photos,
those up.
bro?
Dude, show me Hunter Biden.
No, we can't even
right
pull
now.
the Hunter photo. Dude, we can't pull the Hunter Biden photos up because they literally all have his dick in them.
I think
Have
I
you seen,
found
Joe?
one without his. I think isn't because this is the main one I saw. Was this
Was what?
this one right here?
Oh, well, yeah.
Oh, you look
But
like
I mean,
shit,
that's because it's cut
Sorry,
out. In the
man.
full picture, his dick's in it.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, like
I'm
literally.
looking up Hunter Biden dick pics tonight when this is over.
Bro, he's hung like a horse. I just remember when these shits came out, all the girls were fucking like every girl account I follow on Twitter was talking about how big of a dick Hunter Biden is, and they just wanted
So
to be
you either get Hunter Biden dick or some fucking egg,
Yeah, bro. There's no in between. Just like you're either in pussy or you're gay. There's no in between.